Having just spent 3 months living in Kuala Lumpur, or KL, in Malaysia, the question is, would I consider Kuala Lumpur as a place to retire? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, my name is Zoe, and I sold everything that I own in the UK in 2025 to go travelling full time. And so far I've spent 6 weeks in Chiang Mai in Thailand and 3 months in Kuala Lumpur. And today we're going to talk about Kuala Lumpur and whether this is a place I could retire. So the first thing is there actually a retirement visa available to me? Well, there is no specific retirement visa, but what you can apply for in Kuala Lumpur and Malaysia is the Malaysia My Second Home program, so MM2H, and that gives you long-term visa options. So you basically have to put a deposit into a bank account and you have to buy a property. So on the lowest level, that would be 150,000 US dollars deposit into the bank, which is about 110,000 sterling, 600,000 Malaysian ringgit to purchase a property, which is about £110,000. So that's, say, 220,000 UK pounds, plus fees and costs that you need to pay on top of that. So that's the minimum I'd have to pay for the lowest level of long-term visa. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money to invest, especially at this point. So that kind of makes it more difficult for me, but it certainly means it's not an option right now. If, say, 5 years down the line, I've decided that Malaysia is the place, and then it may be worth doing that. I mean, you don't lose the money that you put into your bank account, and obviously you can sell the property when you leave, but it's still money you've got to put up front, and it's not something I'd want to tie my money into right now. It doesn't have like a simple retirement visa like lots of other countries do. So it's a bit of an obstacle. It's not one that's not something you can overcome. If you really want to live in Malaysia and you can pull that money together, great. But, it would be a lot of my savings from selling my house, which is what I use to live on. So, yeah, that makes it quite tricky. Now, Kuala Lumpur is a city. I'm not particularly a city person. I think we've established that in my last 2 locations. But if I was going to pick a city, there are worse ones to pick. Because even though I'm not really a city person, I have really enjoyed my time here in Kuala Lumpur. And it's for a number of reasons. Yes, it's very built up and it's very high rise. But in between all those shiny, high sky-rise buildings, there's character. And there's a lot of character to Kuala Lumpur. And I think it's because you've got so many cultures here all blending together. You've got Muslim culture, you've got Chinese, you've got Indian, and you've got bits of others all sort of mixed in. And it just gives you this really wonderful environment to live in. And I also think, because I've not experienced this so much in other countries, is like you go to capital cities and yes, they have different cultures in different areas, but here it's really integrated, and everybody celebrates each other's cultures here and respects each other's way of life. And it's so refreshing to live in a place like that. And that I have found truly amazing about being in this city. It's been one of my favourite things here. Yeah, I've absolutely loved experiencing that. It makes it a very special city indeed. So I like that. There's also there's so much to do here. You know, you can never be bored here. There's lots of cultural things to go and look at, lots of history to go and look at. But you know, there's cinemas everywhere. There's roller skating rings. Okay, I'm not going to go roller skating, but you never know, you might want to. There's restaurants to go and try. There's concerts going on. There's always something going on. You know, you're walking around and you see all these stalls popping up and chairs, and there's an event coming up this weekend. And if you go to the malls at the weekend, there's always something going on. But I like going to Lumpur at the weekends because they always have something going on. And like one weekend I went there and they had a dance competition going on. It was absolutely fabulous. Then they had a pickleball competition going on. They've always got something to do with Pokemon going on, which I don't really understand Pokemon because I don't know, I just don't understand it. But I'm always fascinated by it, and you know, and I love watching how other people are loving it. So there's always something interesting going on. It's not a boring place to live at all. So, although I'm not a city person, as cities go, I've really, really enjoyed living here in KL, and I absolutely recommend it. Language. It's not a problem here because 95% of people here speak English. I've actually had no problems. There's been a couple of people that maybe we haven't spoken English, but in the main, you know, people have spoken English, so it's just not been a problem. Expat life and meeting people. There are plenty of expats that live in KL, but I think a lot of them probably live in the suburbs around as well. I think if I lived here, I might consider living slightly outside in more of a neighbourhood suburb and sort of commute in if I wanted to come into KL. There are meetup groups out there. I've seen them on Facebook. I've seen them on Meetup. So there's plenty of opportunity to go out and meet people. So if you are coming here and you want to make friends, I think that it's fairly easy. I also find people very warm and welcoming when you're out and about talking. People always want to have a chat with you. So it's just not difficult to make friends, really. Weather. Now, it's hot. Now, I know you're going to say, well, it's a tropical country. Of course it's hot. Yes, but Malaysia's on another level. I was not expecting it to be as humid as it is here. It's super hot here. I was just not expecting that. Yeah, it takes some getting used to. But I have to say, I have got used to it. And some days it is, I mean, even I can tell it's like, it only has to be 2 degrees higher and you're like, oh gosh, I need to get in the mall or something. I need to get out of this heat. But you do get used to it. But it is very, very warm. Accommodations here. Well, I stayed in this apartment here, and this cost me just under £900 a month, including everything, all my bills, because I went through Airbnb. And it's quite a large apartment, but it is very sort of, well, it's just a bit dull, really. It's a bit dated. It needs a bit of work doing to it, but I mean, it's been fine, and it's had what I needed here, so it's not been a problem. If you're living here long term, I think you'd make more of an effort to go out and find something a little bit nicer for sure. And I think you'll find it, and I think you would definitely find it for a reasonable price, slightly outside the city centre. This is right in Bukit Batan, so one of the most expensive areas, I guess. Now, Malaysia is well known for affordable luxury. You have these condos, and not only do you have the apartments, but you have the facilities with them, like the nice pools, the gyms. Here, there's a sauna as well, and squash courts, and so I think, and actually, there's a lot of people that do live here full time because I've spoken with them, and they're very happy here. So there's definitely the opportunity to find affordable accommodation in Malaysia, and there's also opportunity to find somewhere like this. It's maybe a little bit more expensive than you'd want to normally pay, but you get all the facilities with it to live in the middle of a city. So I don't think finding somewhere to live would be a problem here at all. I think you'd find somewhere lovely. I'm really sure of it. Of course, you'd be paying a lot more when you're doing Airbnb like me, because it's very difficult to take on like 6-month terms when your visa only lasts 3 months. So, yeah. Day-to-day living, it's easy. It's so easy here. Everything you want is here. And as I said before, there is so much to do. The only negative is green spaces. If I was here again, I would be very conscious to make sure that I booked somewhere that was near green spaces. So I'd either stay right next to KLCC so I could walk around the park there, or I'd try and be near the botanical garden so I could walk around the parks there, or I'd find myself another park and base myself next to it. And I think if you live further out in the suburbs, that's going to be a lot easier. But within the city, that is the only thing that I've missed, is there's not a lot of green space, and it's quite a wild way to go and get them. Unless you count the roofs of malls. And I do often go to the rooftops on malls to the gardens. And I like that they do that. So they add a bit of greenery back in. But that is one thing that I've learned from being here, that if I came again, I really have to make sure I pick somewhere that's right next to green spaces, because I miss walking in nature in the mornings. Yes, that's the only thing really that I've missed. Other than that, like if you don't want to go out, you can get everything delivered to you here in your apartment, whether it's you want a food delivery, or you want medicines, or your groceries. Anything you want, you can get delivered to you. It's so easy here. It's too easy sometimes, because it means you go, oh, I don't feel like going out today, I'll just order it. It's like Amazon at home. So dangerous. So convenient, but so dangerous. Yeah, it's very easy to live here. And then, like, going on to transport, to get around Kuala Lumpur is super easy. You've got the MRT, the LRT, the monorail. If you want to go on the trains, you've got the buses. You've got Grab, and Grab is, you have Bolt as well, but I've used Grab here. I found that easier. It's just so inexpensive. It means that some of my rides are like £1. My most expensive, I think, was going to Batu Caves from here, and I think it was £3.70. I mean, that's nothing, is it? To get from here to KLCC is the most expensive city-wise, and that cost me £2.30. Mostly I'm paying £1.20 for a Grab ride. I mean, it's so inexpensive. Can you imagine getting a taxi for that price in the UK? Gosh, it just wouldn't happen, would it? No. So it's very easy to live here. It's very easy. Walkability. Well, you can definitely walk everywhere in KL. You can physically walk everywhere. Not all the pathways are brilliant. That's something that could perhaps be a little bit improved. Like sometimes, like it's quite a big step from the road to the path, so the curb is quite high. The pathways are quite broken in places. They can be very difficult to navigate. You have to watch where you're going at all times. So if you've got mobility issues, it's quite challenging. But yeah, in theory, you can walk everywhere. And I've walked a lot around here. You know, I've walked from here to KLCC and I've done it. It's just you've got to be very mindful that the pathways are just not great for walking. The other thing is, on main roads, they're so busy. Now, you can just stand there and try and cross 4 lanes of traffic one side and 4 lanes the other. And, you know, we've all done it. But you'll be standing there a long time waiting for that break. But I mean, I've done it because I get fed up of having to walk. And this is the problem, is if you don't do that, you have to walk to either a bridge or a crossing. And they are very far apart in some places. So, so you have to like walk quite a long way just across the road to come right back to where you were. And it's challenging sometimes because these roads are very busy and you don't know where they're coming from. And these motorbikes come very fast. And then when the pedestrian crossing light, when you get to the pedestrian crossing, the light firstly takes ages to go to the walking man green. So you're standing there for ages and then it changes and then it doesn't give you long enough to cross the road before it starts flashing. And then all these motorbikes start beeping at you. You're like, oh my days, give me a chance. So I do think it is walkable. You've just got to be very careful of the pavements and be very fast crossing the roads. But accessibility here, you know, it's got a major airport and there are direct flights from here to the UK, so you can get home very quickly. And there's also flights that connect. But you know, you can get from here to anywhere in the world very easily. So for that, it's, you know, a really good location. And the final point is medical services. You know, this is another thing I have to think about. And I have to say, it's been very good here. I've had dental work here, which has been very affordable and very efficient. She was actually brilliant here. Yeah, so very good, very good. And I've had a lot of medical work here. First off, I had a medical screening here. It's okay. I still think medical screening packages are a good thing to do when you're out here because, you know, if in the UK we don't get such a comprehensive amount of tests done unless we pay to go private, and it's very expensive in the UK. So you can get it done here for a lot cheaper. I just think shop around and find a service that works well for you because it is it's quite a draining process. But other than that, you know, I've had a lot of medical stuff here, and it's been fast, efficient, and the medical staff have been absolutely brilliant. So no complaints. You come here, you've got no problem finding medical assistance. So if you get ill, there's numerous hospitals here and numerous clinics that you can go to get assistance. So like I say, you know, I've had no issue getting medical help or dental help here. So and it's been very good quality and it's been very affordable at private costs. I would say it's probably about 20% of what you pay in the UK, 20 to 30%. Yeah. So Now, the only thing is they don't have aspirin here. So if you're coming from the UK and your aspirin is the only thing that works for you, bring your aspirin with you. So overall, is Kuala Lumpur a place I would retire to? Probably not. Although I love it here and I would absolutely visit again, two reasons I wouldn't is it is a city at the end of the day, and I don't think in my heart of hearts I'm a city person. And secondly, because of the visa situation and the amount I would have to invest. But I would definitely come back to Kuala Lumpur again, and I'd recommend this as a city to anyone. And I will definitely come back to Malaysia because I still want to go to Penang, Ipoh, Langkawi, and Borneo. So I still got a lot of Malaysia to see. And that may change my mind, and I may well apply for the My Second Home visa. But we'll see in time. Thank you for watching, and I hope there's been some useful information in there for you. If there has, please like my video and please think about subscribing because it does help my channel and my travels. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you all soon. Ciao.